Today's project is a Christmas Advent calendar. Gina Barney's here to tell us how to use this panel to create this Advent calendar. So Gina, we got this beautiful panel designed by Sheri McCulley called Alpine Wonderland, and she's got a whole collection of fun vintage fabrics. They're kind of reminiscent of the 1950s and bright colors. So tell me how you took this calendar and this panel and created this calendar.
You're going to love this. Super easy, super fun, something you can enjoy with your kids even. So what we'll do is we're going to take the panel, and the first thing we're going to want to do is cut and separate the calendar from the projects over here. So what we'll end up with is two separate sections. One with your softies over here and your little banner.
Now the softies are what is going to go in the calendar pockets, and I think it's so clever how she has activities every day before Christmas, like things like reading books, Christmas books with your kids, cutting snowflakes, and even making Christmas cookies. I think that's just clever and
it's very
ingenious.
Clever. And so here we have your little calendar. Now Sheri was also clever in giving us some cutting lines and some sewing lines.
So initially you just have to cut around the panel.
Yeah, just so you can have a neat place to begin. So what you have here is a cutting line, and then here is a sewing line, and then right down the middle are your fold lines for your pockets. So what we're going to do is bring this edge up to here and create that pocket. So
here we go. This is just so easy and fun to do. You can even have your kids help you.
Yeah. So you just like here, press that and then pin it. And you'll go to the next section and you'll do the same thing, press and pin. And you'll keep going until you're all the way to that final pocket. It's much easier having help.
Yes.
So there you go. Press that nicely, pin it, and then you'll begin to sew. Now it's best to begin in the middle, top stitch here, and sew down.
And then make sure you get a good back stitch. Do you back stitch on each one of these?
I didn't,
okay.
But that might be a good idea. Because
to give
if
a little
those
strength
pockets,
if they're going
that's a
in and
great
out of the
idea.
Pockets.
Now you want to sew down because as you see, your pleats are going down. And that way you'll keep everything going the same direction with no little puckers or folds.
Okay.
So once we're there, we'll have our finished pockets here all sewn.
So you've got all the sides sewn.
Right. Your backing, you'll want to cut a piece of interfacing that's probably about 18 by 19 inches, and then also a backing 18 by 19 inches.
And you use fusible fleece.
Fusible fleece, Peltex, any kind of heavyweight interfacing to give this some stability. And then also a backing. This could be a fat quarter, just an 18 by 19 inch piece. Layer those together, and then this is all pressed and ready to go. And then what we'll want to do is do the cute little tabs. So if you don't want the tabs and you have a way to hang it, that's great, but that's
a great way to hang this calendar.
So let's So what you have, all you're doing is I cut a 4 inch by 25 inch strip.
Okay.
Because what I have here are 3 tabs that are 4 inch by 8 inches. So I sew a tube. I like to sew across the end so that when I'm turning it, I have something to push against. And then I have my little tube right here. I clip off that end, turn it right side out, and press so my seam
is in the center.
In the center.
Good idea.
That way when I go to fold my little tab, I have a nice
You'll hide
neat
your
front.
seam, yes.
Okay, so you're just going to cut this into 3 8-inch sections. Okay.
Then you'll prepare your binding, and you use the same binding as you did the tabs.
I did. Now if we're binding, I was going to do this all on the machine. So I'm binding from the back, pulling it to the front, and top stitching. But if
all
you prefer,
in one step. That's
all
a
in
great
one
idea.
step. So what I would do is pin, find the center for my center tab. These two are about 1 inch from the corner.
And then you're just going to pin your binding.
Yep, and sew that all the way
and
around.
all at once.
Now you could reverse that if you want to hand stitch it. This one's hand stitched. So it's actually sewn on the right side and then reversed and hand stitched on the back. So either way, however you want to do that.
Okay, once it's all stitched, I mean, really, look how easy that is, and this is ready to be hung up for Christmas celebrations. So talk to me about how you finish the little softies that go in the...
So then we'll take our little softies.
And then we can also talk about how you did this, because Jina got a little fancy on us, and she had this quilted, so that's another option.
So this one, what you can do is cut out a circle that's the same size as this. There's enough room to do a 1/4 inch seam. So with right sides together, you can sew around the outside of each circle, leave a little opening, turn, top stitch, put a little stuffing, and then top stitch. And then you have your little softie. And then you can do the same thing with your little banner here. But right here, we actually quilted. So let's show you what we did with the quilting. On this one, we actually took the whole piece. And so if you're quilting it, or if you send it to your quilter, you'll need this. You'll need a piece of batting, and then you'll also want to get a really cute piece of fabric from the Alpine Wonderland collection and put it on the back of this. Quilt the whole thing, and then cut out your calendar and do the same steps that we just did.
And so this time, when you fold it up, you're going to fold up the backing with it. So you notice on the back, you kind of have pockets too, but you don't notice it. And this is all quilted, so it's adorable like this.
And then just pinking shear, raw edge, and you have your
just
cute
like
little,
this.
so
And
easy.
I think that would be so much easier than turning inside out.
Raw edge.
And getting those perfect circles.
Yeah. And then the same thing on your little happy.
And you just finished
Holiday
it
cheer.
with some rickrack, and you're all ready for the holidays. And look at the results you get. You get a fun activity for your kids every day before Christmas. And I know I want one of these, and Gina's already got hers made. So we hope you enjoy your holidays with this new Christmas Advent calendar.